Welcome back to Kitchen Ambush. This week we're at a new restaurant with a new local chef and a new secret ingredient. And I gotta tell you, it's cold, it's rainy, it's not the best day outside, but inside this restaurant, I'm about as happy as I can get with comfort food.
There's so much excitement I can't contain myself.
Oh, absolutely. We are at SMOKE BBQ Restaurant in Newport News, Virginia, standing on their outside patio, which feels more like being at somebody's house than being at a restaurant somewhere.
It really does feel like you can walk through the door and feel like you can just have a conversation with the next person you're sitting next to.
But the thing you walk past when you park, and you're going to want to park at the further end of the parking lot, because you're going to smell that smoke.
You will, and you'll see the big smoke truck.
Yes, you'll see the giant smoker that they take out on site. That's what they smoke in every single day. And it's that thing that when that smoke hits you, you're instantly hungry.
Yes.
And you're just waiting to see that pile of smoked meat on a plate.
And they also have something unique. They have an outdoor oven.
They do.
Which is fabulous for pizzas and other things.
And we're talking about a huge pizza oven outside as part of the patio deck. And I got to tell you, it's where we're going to be cooking today. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Pretty stoked about what Chef Forrest Warren has for us. And looks like we need to get inside.
See you in a minute.
All right, welcome back to Kitchen Ambush, where once again it is one local restaurant, one local chef, one locally made ingredient, and one fantastic dish. We are here at our new location this week, and I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I'm standing in front of an open fire. What about you?
Oh, I'm very, very excited.
I mean, we're going to see something we haven't seen yet. We have not had a pitmaster on Kitchen Ambush yet. That changes today, as we are at SMOKE BBQ in Newport News, Virginia, with the chef, Forrest Warren. How you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Thanks for coming on today.
I wouldn't miss it.
I mean, it's an early morning, it's rainy, but man, the fire is just cranking.
It's nice and warm over here.
I'm looking forward to what's going to happen here. What about you?
I'm very much looking forward to. I hear, because I haven't had the pleasure yet of trying smoke, you have fabulous chicken, barbecue, ribs. So I'm excited about whatever this wonderful chef is about to make.
And we've got a smoker right over our corner over here.
That's right.
I mean, and as early as we got here this morning, that thing was going. How often are you guys smoking? I mean,
every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Because your volume turnover is rapid.
Yeah. We smoke our larger meats, like the pork and brisket overnight, and we come in the morning and check them, wrap them, finish them up, and then we start cooking our smaller meats, our ribs, our chickens, and things like that.
And so you guys have kind of developed that tried and true method because you've actually won some competitions. You're known locally here for being the pitmaster. I mean, I think most of you watching right now would argue that point for sure. I know that you've gotten some coverage here in the area over the food. Now, how long have you been here at SMOKE?
I've been here at SMOKE a little over 5.5 years.
And it was fun to talk to you this morning when we first got here about kind of your journey to becoming the chef here at SMOKE. You know, you've had that similar story to the kind of ups and downs that leads you to one day it's like, here's the apron, where's your knives, you run the place now.
That's it. That's it. Actually, I had broke my shoulder and was out nursing that, and I got a call from the owner one day, and he asked me if I was able to do it. And I said, yeah, I can do it. I can run your kitchen. Well, he told me to put on my pajamas and grab my pain pills and a stool and come do it. So I've been doing it ever since.
It's never an easy road to become chef at a restaurant. You know, it's not only is it a tremendous amount of work, it's not just cooking. You have to know the numbers. You have to know how the business side of it works. But there's usually some event that takes place that it's like you're thrust right in. And you were thrust right in, already dealing with external injuries and things like that. So, you know, that gives kind of people at home the better knowledge of what cooking is. You still got to show up every day and go to work.
You got to be here.
Well, I think that just shows and is a great testament to what you do. You love it that much that you would be there no matter what. As we know, other chefs have done, breaking their feet on Thanksgiving, and still cooking on the foot.
Cooking.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. This is what I do.
I mean, and that's one thing, you grow up as a kid and everybody says, what do you want to be? What do you want to do when you grow up and things like that. And there's some careers out there that people get into that it's like, yes, I wouldn't see myself doing anything else. But food really becomes life because it is life. You've got to eat, and there's so much power in getting around a table with people and eating food.
It's more than just sustaining yourself and sustaining life. It's fellowship. It's art. It's science. It's all these things, and it brings people together. And that's what I'm all about.
And you do so much in the community too. You mentioned fellowship, and fellowship has a lot to do with other chefs and things like that. And you're very involved with groups. Whether it's collab dinners or groups of organized, getting chefs together and sharing notes and sharing recipes and things like that. What's kind of the driving force behind that kind of fellowship for you?
Well, it's the sharing of ideas, the just getting together and instead of making everything about us versus them or we versus they, man, it's all us. It is all us, and the more that I can spread that love to Newport News and surrounding areas with my friends over in Community Kitchen, the better we all feel about it.
Yep. Food, like you said, is an experience.
Absolutely.
And it's an experience with everyone. And like you said, it's not a competition. It's about working with your fellow chefs, the people right down the street, bringing something good food to the table.
Now, a certain amount of healthy competition that does wonders for everybody. It keeps everybody on your toes, makes you step your game up a little bit.
Pushes you forward.
Pushes you forward. But at the end of the day, we're all brothers. We're all sisters, and we're all eating together.
And that's a huge thing. And you've done a couple of those even in the past several months, these collab dinners where you've had that opportunity to work with people in a kitchen. And when we were talking beforehand, you said one of the things was you got to learn techniques and the way people, new flavors and new products.
Absolutely. I'm stuck over here. Not stuck, but I'm over here in this barbecue restaurant. And I'm not really like pigeonholed in, but there's certain things that I can't do here, and there's certain things that other chefs in their restaurants love to do that they can't do there, and it's just about getting together and teaching each other these things and experiencing it, and maybe like one of my chef friends, Nick, he grew his spice rack of guest chefs coming into his kitchen and cooking things.
That's awesome.
So, he's using things that he normally wouldn't use.
Because of having that opportunity
Because
to work
of having the
with somebody
opportunity.
else. And then, local sourcing is always something that we're big on the show, and we visit the farms and the farmers markets and the locally made products. Local sourcing is something important to you too.
Absolutely. That's part of the food community. It starts in the dirt, in the fields, with the love and the work that the farmers put into it.
Yep.
That's
really awesome.
where it starts.
And it's really a full circle experience.
Absolutely.
From the dirt to the chef, to the table, to your family, because I know it makes a big difference having those restaurants that you can go to when you're not at home with your loved ones and your kids, to take them someplace and it feels just like home, where you're just sitting around having good food and good talk.
Yeah, and you go to a restaurant or where you could tell when something comes out of a freezer or prepackaged, and that's just not where it's at.
There's no deep,
you take the
rich
love
flavor.
out of it.
Yeah, you take the love out, you take the flavor out. I don't think people realize sometimes when they're eating food, they get into that, I have to eat, I have to sustain, so I'm just going to throw some food down, or I'm going to stop at fast food, whatever it is. They don't stop to savor everything that went in to make that one dish.
That's right.
Whether it's the farmer with the local produce, all the way through the low and slow flavors that you put in, the love that goes into it, the creativity, how many times these dishes are tested before they ever get it. It's as close in a lot of ways, locally owned restaurants with chefs like yourself, that's as close in a lot of ways as many people get to 20, 30 years ago when people sat around a table at home to actual dinner. I mean, that's one of those things that is really gone by the wayside, is dinner at home around a table with family and friends.
And that's one thing I tell my guys in the kitchen here. We're back there, no one sees us, and we're putting up 100, 200, 300 covers a day, plates a day. And and we're judged by how many we can get out. But also, we need to be judged by what's on that plate. And that one cover is somebody's dinner. That one cover could be your grandma.
Yep.
So you want every single plate to go out with everything you could put in it, as far as love and attention to detail, and just making it look nice. So when it sits down, you get a pile of meat here, but you get a nice looking pile of meat here.
Right. And it's something everybody can enjoy. So speaking of food, that element that everybody's waiting for is what's coming up next, and that's for you to cook. And that means we need to debut what the local ingredient that we're going to use is made by a person who's actually from Newport News, but now lives in Texas. We met them while we were at the World Food Championships. She was hysterical, and we just had to bring some back and bring that to a local chef here. And when we saw it and we had it, the first person I thought about was bringing it to you. So I'm going to grab our box. And the big reveal. So before I open this box, make sure to not forget, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, search Kitchen Ambush, and hit those like and subscribe buttons so that you'll be the first to see all the different action of these restaurants that we go to and meet guys like Chef here. So here we go. Here's the reveal. Today's local ingredient is from the Jelly Queens. And we met her while we were at World Food Championships. She was hysterical. When we told her this morning that, she was going to be the ingredient, she was excited because she's from Newport News. And we didn't even know that when we made this choice. But this is her peach pepper jam. And she was actually one of the featured ingredients at the World Food Championships. So now it's being featured with you today.
Alrighty.
So we're going to give that to you. I'm going to let you collect your thoughts there for a second. And I would imagine you've used things like jams and pepper jams and pepper jellies and some of the cooking you do in doing barbecue. Yeah,
this is screaming barbecue, and it'd make a nice glaze on a rack of ribs or a chicken or really anything. I bet without tasting it. But I think what I'm going to do here is, since we're out here in our new pizza oven.
This is awesome. I can't get enough of looking at this pizza.
So if the crew would let me, I wanted to take a mic and crawl inside, but they said no, not because of me, but for fear of the microphone.
Yeah, Oz was very concerned about his camera and microphone going in the oven. Really hadn't had the no, Vanessa, you shouldn't go in the oven conversation. It was just don't take a mic or camera with you.
So Chef, I'm gonna leave you with Chef here, and you guys get cooking.
All right.
And I'm gonna see you in a little bit with some Facebook.
Eating.
Yes, we're eating.
All right, cool.
All right, so while you start cooking, we'll keep talking.
All right.
And so tell me why barbecue? Chefs get into things and they realize what things they're in their wheelhouse, what's important to them. Why did barbecue kind of become your world?
It fits into the genre of food that I like to cook, which is simply prepared, low and slow type. You take a tough cut of meat, something that that takes a lot of time and love to make delicious. And
yeah, absolutely.
Whether you do that with different techniques, whether you're braising or whatever. And so this just kind of fits into that love of fat boy comfort food, man.
Which is just great food.
Yeah.
That's a food at some point in life everybody's enjoyed. That really good, staunch comfort food.
Everyone loves barbecue, and every segment of the population has some sort of comfort food that they call their own.
Yep.
And I think barbecue kind of transcends all those groups.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everyone loves barbecue. You come in here at any given night, and there's people, all kinds of people in here, young, old, fat, skinny. They're all here, and they're all loving it.
They all just enjoy, and you really do, because you're seeing that crop up on just about every menu. You're seeing, barbecue inside egg rolls. You're seeing barbecues inside tacos. You're seeing barbecue, on double-decker sandwiches. It's just because there's something about low and slow cooked proteins, those meats, and there's a whole gambit of it. You can do it with just about any protein, but there's so much flavor that gets imparted.
That's right.
And instead of a rapid cooking method, which can be really hard on a protein and not necessarily help you break down the connective tissues, this is that piece that just lets it all meld together.
That's right, yep. and that's where I'm kind of cheating here a little bit. You know, I said that the peach pepper jam would make a great barbecue sauce, but I got some chicken and some ribs that we had cooked this morning.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna take the meat off the bone and glaze the meat up here and put that sauce in the oven and
Right in that nice fiery hot oven.
Roast some vegetables and spin some pizzas. I think we're going to make some barbecue pizzas.
I like it.
All right, so I want to start here.
So walk us through the process as you go.
Well, this chicken, 2.5 pound average chicken, we split in half, and Tasso smokes them for us every day. I'm just going to take some of that. You know, it's all delicious, but I think I'm going to use some of this thigh meat in our dish.
Oh, thigh meat's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
It's rich. It's got that darker color to it. But I've always just really liked the fact that, you know, chicken is one of those things that people kind of like, it doesn't really have any flavor of its own. But thigh meat does have its own kind of twang to it.
And that's why they say everything tastes like chicken, because people are used to chicken not tasting like anything.
Yeah. Tasting whatever flavor got taken into it.
And this part right here, I don't know if you're in the know, but that's the best part of any chicken is the oyster. So we're definitely going to put that in there.
That is a chicken oyster, and I think a lot of people probably at some time in passing heard that, but don't realize, like you said, that is like the best part.
It really is.
To eat.
It really is. I'm a wingman myself, but the chicken oyster beats it every time. And we do pulled chicken here as on our menu, and that's made from thigh meat, and it's awesome because a lot of times the oysters will fall away from the thigh and be in the smoker, and that's lunch, man.
It's just sitting there, just getting all that goodness all smoked
and it's
in
just
there.
waiting for me to eat it.
Well, you know, that's the one, you know, one of the perks of being the chef. Yeah, you're gonna get long hours, you're gonna get burns, you're gonna get hurt, so you're gonna have, you know, days where your head is just pounding. But then there's those little morsels that you get as the chef that, you know, people don't realize just how good food can be.
That's right. That's right. And it's and, you know, the cheaper cuts of meat typically tend to be like the thighs.
Yep.
A muscle that's used a lot, and so it has a lot of flavor. You don't really have to do a lot to that muscle.
Nope, it's there. It's ready to roll. I like to use thigh meat only anytime I'm doing something, especially like you said, like pulled.
And here we got a baby back rib fresh off the smoker. You can just see it just glistening with love right there.
That's exactly what I was thinking, that glisten, that sheen on that. And you probably can't see that as well on camera as I get to, so again, you can live vicariously through me. But that sheen is just beautiful.
Yep.
And how long did those get smoked for?
Just under 4 hours.
Just under 4 hours.
And we're going to take a lot of that love off of there.
I mean, and it's just coming right off.
Oh, yeah.
Everything falls apart, bone comes right out, and it's just primo meat.
Yeah, we do everything fresh here like that. You know, we cook the meat to last us the day.
Right.
I do not want to reheat anything. You can reheat your food at home, and now it's leftover.
When you take the leftovers home, that's when you can start turning it into stuff.
That's when you...
But at the restaurant, it's fresh. You know what your volumes are, and that's a big part of being a chef. And
that's right.
Well, we got some comments coming in already, huh?
Oh, we've got lots of comments already. Of course, we've got Mark Frank from Spark and the Wizardbug who's watching.
Right.
So,
hey, Mark, how you doing? All right, Mark.
We've got Bob Roberts who says, "Go get him, Forrest."
That's my buddy.
He also says, "Fat boy comfort food. I'm going to borrow that." And then we got the Bee and the Biscuit giving you love. Bee and the Biscuit says, "Good luck. Kitchen Ambush is awesome and they're so much fun." And then lastly, of course, Mark is shouting out and he's going, "Look at that shiny head, True G." That's right. True G.
Yep, slicked it up just for you guys.
Just, you know, that was all for you, Mark. We talked about the fact you'd be watching, so we had to do some special things for you.
Okay, so I got me some meat here, and now I'm gonna get.
It smells good too.
It really does. And that's why I love my job. Every day of my life, I come in here, and I taste some of the best meat around.
Yep.
As part of me getting up and coming to work every day, that's what I do here.
And that's not a bad thing to be able to do.
It's not a bad thing at all.
Come get some food, That, you know, as a chef, you don't go hungry.
No, you don't go hungry. And you get to experience things that some people just don't, you know.
Do you get to do a lot? You do a lot of things like family meal here?
We do sometimes. And
I always had fun doing that.
Just yesterday, I made the whole staff breakfast, and you know, I don't get to do it as much as I like because we're so busy.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us running around going crazy. But absolutely, I think it builds a team.
It does, and that's the thing that, you know, food brings people together, and it's kind of that ultimate icebreaker to just about any environment. But people, you know, inside the restaurant industry, food industry, it has to be a family. You're going to have the brother and sister rivalries. You're going to have the nitpicking, but at the same time, you've got that genuine contempt because you're going to spend a tremendous amount of your life with those people.
With these people, I spend more time with my cooks than I do with my wife every day.
Yeah,
absolutely do. So I'm just going to preheat this a little bit, and it looks like I need to throw
iron.
another log in there.
And we were talking too beforehand that a lot of people don't realize how tricky this is. It's not just I build a fire, I throw something in, and it's hot.
Oh yeah. While we were talking, the oven went dead. It's too cold to cook in. I got to fire it back up real quick.
And that's the thing.
Happens that quick.
You were scanning for zones.
Yep. And this is a round oven with the fire right on the deck in the back, so it heats the coals directly and through the ambient heat of the fire.
Right.
And there's definitely rings of zones of heat from the back to the front, and it typically goes anywhere from 800 degrees to 450 degrees on the tiles there, and ambient temperature can go as high as 1,000 degrees in here.
And that's really interesting. If you don't watch things like this or know about this kind of thing, it is one of those things you really have to learn. You have to figure out how to use these ovens, tried and true, and try, and a lot of trial and error, because you're talking about an oven that's not huge by any sense. There's one heat source in the back of the oven, but you can have 400 degree differences just by sliding it from one side to the other.
Yep, absolutely. Within a matter of a foot or two, you have 400 degrees difference.
And that's just crazy.
All right, I'm gonna put 2 logs on there.
And then there was when you guys decided to come outside, and you may know this while you're watching right now, but we're actually outside on their patio area where you guys built this amazing pizza oven. And it started with the actual pizza oven itself is just this dome area right inside here. So from the flat here to about here, and it domes over. And the rest of this is sand over top for insulation, sand underneath for insulation. But the oven itself is just a half circle right inside here. And I mean, when you get to come here to smoke and see what the outside looks like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. Mark did a great job putting this together for us.
He really did.
He really did.
I mean, you get a lot of the creature comforts. I mean, it's cold outside and rainy, but in here it's warm because you got heaters going, plus the oven. But you got all the creature comforts of being inside a dining room. Yeah, with the coolness of being outside.
Yeah, we got the heaters keeping it nice and toasty for us. Got the TVs. It's almost like eating at home out there on your back porch.
And that's that. Again, going back to what a local restaurant does that some of your chain restaurants can't do is give you that feel like you're eating at home.
That's right.
You bring your family, you bring your friends, you get a big table, 8, 10, 12 people, and just have a good night out.
That's right.
All right, so you got some other ingredients on the board over there.
Yep, I'm picking out some vegetables. I'm going to roast off in our flat skillet in there.
Cast iron.
Cast iron, absolutely. Yep. Oh boy.
So you're getting your first try of your secret ingredient.
Okay, that's really good.
And that is the peach pepper jam from Jelly Queens.
Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to reach in here and grab my hot cast iron.
Don't always try that at home.
No, don't always try that. Sizzling already. That's what I want.
And that cast iron, that'll catch you some temperature quickly and hold it.
Yes, it will. I'm going to sit that right there. And man, I'm just going to toss this warm meat and a little bit
Just let that cook down in
and
there
just
and
let
glaze
it
it all.
glaze it up and cook down. And by the time we pull this out, it'll be a bubbly, delicious amalgamation of pork and chicken.
Oh, there you go. Hashtag that one. Amalgamation of pork and chicken. I mean, that's throwing out the big words for the big guns.
That's right. I'm here to impress.
And you know, that's a great combination. You've got that smoky meat that you did low and slow, that you made this morning, and the dark meat of the chicken and the rib meat, but then add in that sugar, the sweet element, along with the pepper from the jam. I mean, that's just really going to turn that into something. You could just sit there with a big bowl of that and be happy.
Oh yeah, that's done right there.
That's a happy.
You know, that's absolutely. But we're gonna let that come together and get a little bit of caramelization there going on. Gonna bring that out.
And so what are you thinking overall about what the dish is going to end up being?
I think we're gonna have a slightly sweet, very rich pizza because of the brie cheese I'm about to put on there. I just think these two ingredients together will go great together.
Yeah, that's a bang up.
Just like I think those two ingredients are going great together.
Right.
And I'm just going to roast off a little, we're going to blister a little grape tomatoes and roast off a little onion and squash.
And I like the red onion.
Yes.
You know, it's just very different than the sweet yellow onions. You know, you get a little bite from them, so I think that'll be nice with all the sweetness you've got.
Absolutely, I think so too.
So the question a lot of people love to hear is, you've been in the kitchen cooking all day, you've had a ton of stuff going on. What is that thing you make for yourself when you finally get home and you're hungry?
Man, you don't want to know.
Oh, I absolutely want to know.
I'm that guy. I'm so simple. I mean, it could be, you know, of course, whatever my wife cooks at home when I get there.
Right.
She's a very good cook also. But man, I'm happy some days with sardines and crackers. I got it.
It works.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that salty after all day here with the barbecue.
But you know, but then again, like I said, I'm all about that meat and that comfort food, and you know, I'm happy to throw down some steaks on the grill or something like that. And a lot of times, you know, that's what we do.
Yep, that works out
Keep
great.
it nice and simple. Yeah.
We got some more comments coming in.
We do have some more comments. So we have Susan Ford Peterson says, love the fireplace and the oven. We have Mary James Holtz who says, Forrest is the man. We love you, Mr. and Mrs. Scuba. And and Katie Nora says, you go get it, Forrest.
All right, thank you guys.
So you
I
got some
appreciate it.
steady people watching and talking. That's when you've connected with people.
Yeah.
You know, and you have that personality, and you cook with such passion and love that's something that people just want to connect to.
Right, that's what it is. It's that fellowship. It all goes back to the fellowship.
And when they believe in you, it's very easy to believe in the food.
True. All right, so I got my onions.
Got the cast iron back out.
And
Onions are going down.
She's hot. You can hear it sizzling.
Oh, yeah. I think at some point, Mark or Naz, we need to figure out how to start miking up pans. I think that's going to be the next technical iteration, is to mic up the pans, because that you get the smell and you hear it, and that gets everything going.
Oh yeah, food gets all the senses going, and gravity does too. It's all right.
See,
I got another piece right here.
It happens everywhere, and that's live.
That is live. All right, so luckily, I got another piece right here.
Always come prepared, right?
Always come prepared. That's what the Boy Scouts taught me.
That's right. Now you had Bob Roberts comment. He's another smoke guy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
another barbecue guy. He's doing really well in the area.
He's killing it, and he's got the mobile food truck. He could go to the masses, and we competed against each other.
Right, I remember.
And man, when he came up with that corn on the cob, I was sweating. His plate looked so good, I was sweating it.
You start to worry when you see something like that comes up like that.
He had it going, man. It was looking great. All right. See that? we're getting hot here already.
Yeah, that smells good. And the jam is just bubbling in the pan. You've got, the meat is just kind of absorbing it. Because you started with a good amount of that jam in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it is just gluing itself right to that protein.
I put about 3 good tablespoons in here.
And we're talking those heaping tablespoons, not that little level stuff. Oh,
you see, that's all coming together there. All right, we're going to put that right by the door.
Oh, jeez, that smells good. I mean, you can smell the smoke. You get that first off. Then you get the distinct, you get the smell of the ribs and the smell of the chicken, and then that mild sweetness that's just permeating through there.
So now we're going to put a little squash and just whole grape tomatoes to let them blister. We'll probably regret that later when they roll off the pizza when I try to put them in the oven. All right, so we're just going to let that go for a minute.
And what's great about seeing this, and we haven't seen this on the show yet as one of these pizza ovens, is the just total versatility of the different components you're putting in there that in a lot of ways would cook at different temperatures, different styles, different ways. Right. But inside there it can handle all of it.
Yeah, handle all of it. Now I've cooked whole pieces of meat in there. We've of course, roasted vegetables for our pizzas.
Sure.
And we've done steaks in there. And it's just another toy to play with.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely. I know there's some chefs watching now that wish they had one of these at their disposal. Yeah. Because that is a fun thing to work with.
It is very fun.
Now, how often do you add new things to menus? Is it mainly through specials? Is it any kind of seasonal things?
No, we change. We come out with a new menu like 2 or 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. It typically runs the same. And I get to use seasonal ingredients and use my imagination in the specials.
I like that.
Yeah. That's when people come here, they come here for barbecue.
Yeah.
So that's what the menu is geared towards. We have our sandwich section, our salads, and all that stuff. But pork and coleslaw.
You can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong.
So what's your coleslaw like? Is it I've seen coleslaw is evolving. It's one of those things you see changing a lot. You had the creamy coleslaw, then you have more like a vinegary coleslaw.
We use a creamy coleslaw, and we shred it rather than chop it.
So much better.
So that it's like when you put it on your sandwich, it's not just a clump of ground cabbage.
Or those big hunks that just kind of fall off and nobody can really eat that.
Yeah, so we shred it nice and thin, and that way when you put it on your sandwich, it's
a condiment for the sandwich.
Absolutely.
And it just spreads almost.
Yeah, and people have theories on coleslaw, whether it's a condiment or a side or it's trash. And I typically go towards a condiment.
I go towards the condiment.
Yeah.
Because it adds those elements that the protein doesn't have.
Absolutely.
It softens a little, but it complements all of it beautifully. Now, that is not something, what you're seeing right now, the brie come out, that is not something you see a lot at a barbecue place, is brie. But it's fantastic.
It is.
Barbecue.
And and it'll melt on the pizza and get really soft, and it won't spread too far. But man, it's going to add some fat to the top of that pizza. That's going to be awesome.
And as always, we're going to make 2 because we have one to take pictures of, and then we have one that we're going to taste on the show. And I have a feeling both are going to get devoured. When everybody's, I can see Vanessa's very excited right now because she gets to eat pizza. Oz is always eyeballing us about making sure that there's some left for him.
Nice.
And on occasion, we leave him some. So what you got coming up on in the next few months? No, well, actually, right now, let's back up. You got a lot of Christmas parties going on.
Yeah, we got Christmas parties stacked up till the 24th for sure.
So you can cater out to somebody else's Christmas party, or they can come here and have a Christmas party at the restaurant.
Absolutely. We offer full service catering. And I got to tell you, we're a barbecue restaurant, but given time and budget, man, I can make anything. And we typically do.
Weddings,
parties. We go to the festivals around here. We had our private dining room here that we bring people in.
That's behind those awesome hanging barn doors.
Behind those big barn doors, yep.
And how many people can that seat?
40 comfortably, as much as 50 in
nice.
There. Yep.
So
we can get them in there.
A full range of things you can do both here at the restaurant and on site. Do you have some things coming up over the course of the beginning of the year?
Right now, I'm working with my buddies over at Community Kitchen. We're trying to plan some things here. I mean, we always have something going on. You know, our next really big party is our 420 party in April.
All right.
But you know, we're still busting out turkeys for the holiday dinners. You know, we
Now, are you smoking those turkeys?
oh, absolutely. We purchased 258 turkeys for Thanksgiving, and the day after Thanksgiving we had 18.
From 258 to 18. So were people coming and grabbing a turkey and then taking it home?
They were pre-orders, but we do have some available for the guy that burned up his turkey and ruined his Thanksgiving dinner too.
People at home burning up a turkey? I can't ever see that happen.
No, that
my
never
favorite
happens,
is
does
the flaming fires that start from people trying to fry a turkey.
Yes.
And they drop the frozen one in the fryer.
And we fry turkeys here too. And but yeah, we make it easy. You don't have
That is
to.
easy.
You don't have to call the fire department to your house.
No, just come pick up a
Just
turkey.
come pick it up here. Yeah.
Oh, we got more? Come on in, Vanessa.
We do. We have got actually a lot more. So Mark actually said, Forrest, give him some chow chow to use as their next secret ingredient. I'm sure there is something behind
The
that.
story behind chow chow.
Chow chow.
Chow chow was my what I chose to do as my freestyle side for the barbecue competition.
Right?
And it's a very traditional Appalachian side made from. Really, there are as many recipes as there are families that make it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the recipe I followed was green tomatoes, onions, and peppers, and it has a very sweet and sour kind of taste.
Very cool.
Some of them
Perfect
are
for
hot,
barbecue.
Perfect for barbecue. So
Absolutely.
it's another condiment, just like your coleslaw.
Yep.
But totally different. Totally
does sound
different
like a winner.
flavor profile.
Well, and then also Daniel Thompson says you've got amazing food, and we've got a couple WFC that have been watching. We had Gigi,
Oh, hi, Gigi.
Sherry Williams, and then we've got Angela from Natural Tableware.
Hi, guys.
Angela.
And those are people we met at the World Food Championships down in Alabama. This is one of the guys I was telling you about that we need to get down there competing.
And see, you're spreading the love.
Absolutely.
Spreading the love.
Which is what food does.
That's what it does.
You know, that's why we love what we do, because we get to just keep pushing forward the work you guys are doing.
I know, and that's awesome. You know, you're bringing us into the spotlight. I'm over here taking my time cooking some food, and
I'm just savoring the thought of being able to
people
eat
are
that
watching
food.
it. I know it's going to be awesome.
And I love things like zucchini and squash.
And you see that we're starting to cook here.
Yep.
We're starting to blister up. So I'm going to put that back in there with our onions.
Great.
And now I'm going to try to embarrass myself and spin a couple pizza doughs.
I like how that sounds.
I'm going to apologize to Nick Hagan in advance, who really gave me the basis of a lot of my knowledge of what's going on out here.
Right.
So sorry, Nick.
Hey, Nick, how you doing? That's funny. Yeah, pizza doughs, I've done it a couple of times. I've done it enough to know not to do it.
Yeah. Yes. Before this oven was installed here,
Right?
my extent of pizza experience was, you know, one pizza at a time in my home in my oven. And now we're making doughs every day, and people are just loving it.
I mean, that's a big thing. People don't realize what a big thing is to make your own dough for pizzas, because that absolutely is a different flavor than a pre-made pizza crust.
Absolutely. No, we use only the best ingredients here, just like our barbecue. You know, we wanted a pretty authentic Neapolitan pizza, so we did the research and we put in the time, and we got the ingredients and we're making it, and they're loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got
But,
proofing, and then you've got a full tray of proofing. Then when somebody orders a pizza, this is the process that takes place.
Yes, we proofed the dough for 24 hours, and so we make it a day ahead. We always have to stay a day out.
All right.
And a batch of dough is 40 pizza doughs. Typically, we make 1 or 1.5 batches, and for the most part, we sell them all.
Nice.
The barbecue restaurant's selling that many pizza doughs.
That's awesome.
And like I said, I'm a novice here, so it's really soft. I like to bring out the screen to help me.
Oh yeah, that's a huge help. With
It's
stuff
a
like
huge
that.
help for especially me. I've only been tossing pizzas for and tossing. You see, I didn't toss anything. I've only been doing pizzas for a few months, 5, 6 months here.
And it is an art. I mean, it's something. There's something to be said for people, like a Nick, who have spent a lot of time doing that, because it is not easy.
It is not easy.
And so you got a little semolina flour down.
Yep, this is semolina flour. It's a little coarser texture. And some people, when they make pizzas at home, like to do some cornmeal or whatever,
right,
to kind of mimic the effect of what that oven does, but we don't need to do that here.
No, because you've got the oven.
Because we got the oven.
And you said that oven was actually sitting in a storage unit for a while.
Yeah.
After being picked up from another local restaurant in Williamsburg when they closed.
That's right. And I remember going to check it out after Steve bought it, and it was sitting in the middle of our storage unit on a tarp, and it looked like Fred Flintstone's house had just fallen apart. I was like, Steve just bought a pile of rubble. But you know what? Look what it turned into.
I know.
It's beautiful.
Mean, it's amazing. And just listening to you talk about the fact that sand is used to insulate it, and the kind of temperatures getting up as high as 1,000 degrees that oven can do, that's pretty outstanding.
It is very outstanding. And I know I was impressed, and I didn't take that lightly, because at a 800,000 degree oven, you can mess up some product pretty quickly.
Absolutely. So I get that all stretched out, and the tray helps because it kind of gives you kind of a stencil to go by.
See, it gives me a little stencil to go by. It lets air get to the dough, so when I start making the pizza here in a second, you got a little bit of a skin, so it won't stick to the peel so much.
Right.
So it does a couple things. And like when you're really in the weeds, you could spin a few and have them stuck over here on this rack,
right, just
waiting to be turned into a pizza.
Yep.
Okay. So now that that's done, I'm gonna check my vegetables here one more time.
And you can really hear the sizzling going on from everything. Yeah, the
we're
grape
good.
Tomatoes are blistering up. The squash looks fantastic. Oh, those onions.
Onions are nice and roasty.
And the red onions, you get that really good kind of amberish brown color.
Oh yeah, and here's concentrating all the sugars in there. And the pans had just a little bit of oil in them.
Right.
When I put the vegetables in, so that's ready there. So that kind of helps things happen.
And these are all going to be the components for the pizza.
Yes.
So we've got blistered grape tomatoes, we've got yellow squash, red onions, and then of course the thigh meat chicken with the ribs, that it's all been done inside that peach pepper jam.
That's right. And now,
and then of course the delicious brie. And you got 2 doughs out. Now, how long can you mentioned kind of having some doughs ready, so if you're going to get in a weeds and have a big rush at dinner, how long can you have those doughs out stretched like that?
Not long.
Yeah, you've got to do it fairly quick.
You really do. I would say probably a half hour, because you'll see them. They'll start the yeast will activate again, and they'll start to bubble up, and they'll go bad pretty fast.
Right.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do here is take some.
So you're going to use some more of the pepper jam.
And then I'm going to use what we refer to internally here as hogwash. It's a very heady sauce that's when our ribs and chicken and other meats come out of the smoker.
Right. That's something you make here.
Yes, we make here. Yes.
The hogwash.
We'll take this and we'll brush it on the ribs and chicken as we and caramelize it on the grill before we serve it.
Right.
I think I need a little more of that. So it's not something that's really offered outside on our menu as one of our sauce options. But like I said, it's really heady. It's got a lot of our rub seasoning we call butt rub around here in it, and it's got molasses and apple juice. So it's a real thick tomato-based sauce.
Traditional. It's really kind of follows your traditional barbecue sauce.
It really does.
That final glaze that goes on. So that is your hogwash that includes your butt rub.
That's right.
There you have it. Hogwash and butt rub.
That taste. And now that's pizza sauce.
There you go.
All right.
You know, pizzas don't have to have the traditional tomato sauce.
No, they
really,
don't.
especially pizzas and tacos. Those two things have kind of evolved to be, multitask, take on different genres and flavors, and so that's a lot of fun.
All right, so now we're going to just transfer the dough here.
And at this point, you've got your vegetables roasted, your proteins are ready, your dough is stretched, and you're putting the sauce and you're gonna start building the pizza.
That's right.
How many pizzas do you think you do on a good day?
On a good day, we'll do as many as 40 to 60 here. And when you think about what we really here are selling, that's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
You know, we're not doing Dominoes, we're not buying doughs and doing pre-bought stuff like that.
Right.
We're doing every pizza one at a time.
And you're a barbecue joint.
And we're a barbecue joint.
I mean, you are like the comfort food barbecue joint, and you're still doing 40 to 60 pizzas on a good day.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm pretty happy with what's going on here for sure.
And so you're putting the brie down first.
Yeah, we're
the
just going to put the
cheese.
brie down first. And I'll cut some more up for the second pizza too. And now we got...
I mean, every bit of the jam that you put in that skillet has just glued itself and absorbed to those proteins.
Right into the proteins. And we're going to make sure...
You're getting hungry, aren't you, Vanessa? That is a good looking pizza already. And that's the thing too about, a good barbecue place that really shares the love and passion. You're going to get portions.
yeah.
You're not going to have that little dainty plate with a few things on it. You're going to get fed.
Yeah, it's almost a shame. We have such good desserts here that we make homemade, and the Walters family recipe for their banana pudding.
Right.
Super rich, delicious banana pudding. And typically if they get it, it goes home with them.
Oh, yeah,
because
after
there's no room left. Yep.
But in a banana pudding, I mean, that's just another one of those staples, another one of those things that literally just screams barbecue.
Yeah, and we're just going to put a couple of these whole tomatoes on right
You saw
on
it
there.
in there?
No, I said I'll see you later.
Oh yeah, Oz just told us we're losing Oz because he's going after the banana pudding.
It's back there. All right, here's some
I just
of our...
love the color.
Yeah.
People think of, like you brought up, those chain pizza places, and it's just, okay, a pizza is what? Cheese, pepperoni, sauce, cheap dough. I mean, they have fresh, first of all, the low and smoke, pork and, chicken and ribs, but then to put fresh vegetables on it.
Yeah.
You've blistered them inside the oven, you've got a pop of color, you've got the acidity, the natural sugars. I mean, that's food.
Yeah, that's going to be a good pizza.
Yeah, that's going to be a real good pizza. As soon as we drove up today, I saw that smoker outside. That was the first thing I just had to walk by, was to smell that.
And she was doing some hard work this morning, too.
It was. Oh, hey, Vanessa, what do you got?
So we've got actually people talking on Smoke's Facebook pages too.
Awesome.
So I wanted to give some love for them. I've got Emily Dyer on live that says, love that oven. She loves the oven.
Well, yeah.
I've got Toya. She says, Forrest, I love you. Show them how you do it. Show them how you do it. And Jennifer Osborne says, everyone, you need to try the pizzas. You need to try the pizzas. And by the way, for everybody at home, Oz behind the camera, banana pudding is his favorite dessert. I'm not sure he'll make it through the shoot at this point.
We may look
I'll
at
have some ready
going.
All right, so for me, this is the most precarious point, is getting the pizza off the peel into the oven.
Right.
Yeah, it's a simple process. It's kind of like pulling the tablecloth out from under the silverware
And
the
having everything
plates.
still stay on the table.
And sometimes it can be just as disastrous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to hope that
That's why I'm glad it's
I
you
get
and
it
not
this
me.
time. And another little secret Nick told me, after you flour your board and you get your pizza on there and dress, little puff. Look at that.
Just lifts it right up.
Lifts it right up, and there we go. And that
And you
pizza,
got that right in a sweet spot in the oven there.
Yep, we should be cooking at about 500 degrees or a little more there actually right now.
That is outstanding.
And that's going to sit there for, you know, a few seconds and develop a good crust. If you try to move it now, it's going to fall apart.
Right. You got to leave it alone.
You got to leave it alone.
And I think that's one of the toughest things people at home when they're cooking have is to leave the food alone. Just let it do its thing. You know, especially when you use things like an oven like this or even cast iron. It sticks on the beginning for a reason.
Yep.
And then once that cooking process does about what it needs is when it naturally lets go a little and you can move things around.
It lets you know when it's ready.
Yep.
That's the way I tell the guys in Tasso back here. When you're cooking meat, don't check the clock. Check the meat.
Right.
And check every piece of meat.
Yep.
Yep.
Because that plays a huge role in the difference between, okay, that was good, and, oh, I got to come back.
Right.
You know, and that's just such a difference to, you know, following that, you know, here's what it is. It's from a chain. It's frozen. Put in an oven for 15 minutes at 350 and wait, you know. That is only going to be ever what it was going to be.
Yeah, you're right.
This is an elevation of food.
I like to think so. I like to think so. All right, so now just want to see you starting to puff up there a little bit.
That crust is starting
and
to puff
see
up
that
and grow.
crust is starting, like you said, to separate from the.
Right.
And I'll just take it. I'll just give it a little spin. Push it back a little further.
And that again is you're getting different temperatures, but at the same time you're getting full. You know, by turning it and spinning it, you're getting that even cooking.
Yeah, and as hot as those tiles are, that dough is absolutely sucking energy out, and you're losing temperature from where I just moved the pizza to the new spot.
And that's another reason to keep it moving.
That's
is
another
to
reason
keep
to keep
that
it.
constant heat all the way through.
Yeah, you know, and you got one edge right there next to that fire. You got to watch it and kind of spin it back the other way.
Right.
But typically that's how I do it. I'll start and I'll just
Working around.
work the pizza around.
Nice. Besides barbecue, what is those other things that you really like to cook? Is there another type of food besides barbecue that you find yourself really interested in and enjoy cooking?
It always comes back to comfort food and like peasant food for me. You find the cheaper, underutilized cuts of meat or the local vegetables that are in season. And basically you just take that tough piece of meat and do the slow and low things, whether you braise it, cook it in the oven, cook it on the smoker. Like I said, it all goes back to just the comfort, love, family, fellowship of just cooking this meal all day long and having something that was shoe leather now melts in your mouth.
And that's the thing. You know, that's the difference between just throwing something together food-wise and being a chef.
It is. And, you know, people within our industry, they'll argue amongst each other. What makes a chef? When does a cook become a chef?
Yep.
What is technically a chef? And what is technically a cook? Well, we're all cooks.
Yep.
But, you know, and some people will tell you a chef is a guy that counts the beans and does this and does
Carries
that.
clipboard.
Yep.
Yep.
But for me, the chef is a guy that was willing to do the extra steps in between the steps that everyone else does to make it what you want it to be.
Right.
Basically, you have to put in the work.
It does. You got to put in the work. And I've always felt that the chef is that when you have a really good chef at a restaurant, that's the person that is going to be the one that makes sure of all the ingredients in a dish, the chef's going to make sure that love is there.
Yep. And we're about 30 seconds out on that pizza. I'm going to let it sit there for just another second. And then what I like to do is I'll put it back on the peel. And I'll lift it right up to the dome of the oven, right next to that fire.
Where all that heat is just circulating back down.
It's like putting the dome over your burger or whatever on a flat top.
To melt that cheese out.
Melt the cheese, it'll further blister tomatoes. Anything that's almost caramelized is going to get caramelized
quickly.
And that's where it's all at, yep.
This would have been the time for you to be in there, Vanessa.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Just hoping we get that temperature-proof camera and we let her crawl in and get that shot at the top
man,
of the
you
dome.
can look at that. You can see the brie bubbling, the sauce is bubbling.
It's perfect all the way through there.
Yep. So we can about 10 seconds out. I'm gonna stick it right here.
And you get your workout for the day.
That's right.
Hold the big, comfort food pizza at the top. I mean, it's a happy part right now.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Got steamy and bubbly and caramelized.
That is just beautiful.
Cool.
And then it comes over to the board.
The big old block.
With that big old knife.
My big old knife.
I mean, if you're gonna do comfort food, you gotta have a lot of big old stuff.
And sometimes I'll take this and I'll add a little more Parmesan or maybe a drizzle of garlic oil. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, I think we're good.
Oh, I think that's it. I think you had the right notion, the right idea the whole time, and I think that's where it's at right there. So I know that Vanessa is just chomping at the bit because she gets to eat now on the show.
That's right.
And we were all talking about these plates. Love those plates.
Yep, these are the plates we chose for our pizza plates. They're just beautiful.
They really are. They're unique.
Yep.
I like how they rise up just a little bit, and they have that good wood look.
Yep. And
that's some cool stuff. And look at that, a multitasking knife. You're not excited or anything. Let me tell you, Vanessa's freezing, and she was like running over here to get to this.
All right,
so I mean, it's delicious looking, and I'm sure it's outstanding to taste. I'll be the first taste tester.
Oh, you volunteered?
I volunteered.
It's nice that she does that. All right.
All right, well, here you go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's all at the same time.
Put it right back there.
All at the same time.
All right, let's dive in. Oh, it's like, which piece do you get? Get that nice fold.
I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that peach. That stuff is so good.
Comes right through.
Instantly, I've had that piece of rib in my mouth, and man, that's delicious. And
that thigh meat is so tender. It's like chicken butter. It's like it melts, but it took on the sauce, but you still get the richness of it, and those ribs are out of bounds.
Oh, this is more than successful. This is a home run. This is a out in left field. This is just, it's gone. This is you needed to be here today.
Nice
type of moment.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that great ingredient.
Oh my God, this is like transcendent. But I gotta tell you, I mean, the crust is crisp. But it also has that light airiness to it. It's not super dense. The sauce doesn't overpower, but complements all the other flavors you put on. I love the brightness of the tomato. I'll always eat yellow squash. I just love how that caramelizes up. Man, yeah, this is completely fantastic.
And how about the fat on that brie right there? Man, I love it. It's one of my favorites.
And what I want everyone to know at home is my 5-year-old would chow this down. This is vegetables, this is protein, this is amazing. They wouldn't think twice. Yeah. This is out of sight. Out of sight.
Thank you.
So, I mean, you've said it already, but I definitely say this has been a successful ambush.
Thank you.
Fantastic food, great comments. Thank you, everybody, for sending in comments and remarks. And where can we find you on social media and online?
I'm at SMOKE BBQ Restaurant on Facebook. My Facebook page is Forrest Warren, and that's where I'm at all the time. Instagram, Chef Forrest.
And you put great pictures of food out.
I try, yes.
You know, and the thing I noticed too is that you've always got a consistently positive message. And I think that's what everybody's going to take away from this today. Such a good message.
That's right. Come holler at your boy.
Absolutely. Come out here, but bring people with you. Have a group. This is a great place to grab groups out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely a great place to bring a group.
Book your parties. Get your turkeys for the holidays so that you don't have to set fire and call 911. Make sure you find us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the universe. We're there. Look up Kitchen Ambush. Hit the like and the subscribe button so you can see more great people like Forrest and some more great products like that Jelly Queen's Peach Pepper Jam.
Thank you so much.
That stuff is good.
Oh, that was banging. Good stuff. And you are?
I'm Vanessa Lane.
You are?
Chef Forrest Warren.
I'm Mark Conway. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching.
I got to eat pizza now.
All right.